Thank you for joining us for these how-to sessions. For those new, it's an open space. You can openly ask any questions you have. We will answer them from beginner level to elite levels. The only thing that we ask to keep this organized is that when you're ready for a question, you raise your hand. That way I can bring you in and we can all hear the question, sharing the knowledge gain. We also have Robert in the chat assisting us with questions just in case you do not necessarily want to raise your hand, or if you have some useful comment to share as well, why not? It's an open space for conversation. At least this is what we want to create. Okay, so I hope everybody had a great weekend and the week started out with a bang. As usual, we'll start with any questions you may have around using the tool before we go into any other conversation, case study, or covering what is to come for those who will be joining us this Friday for the masterclass. It's happening. Questions? None. I'm surprised. 1, 2, 3, sold to silence. Of course, you can always time in during the conversation that we're having for any questions you may have on and off subject. It's always great. I was just going over, to continue the conversation. I think most of you in this space have responded to the call of the masterclass and are interested. And I think going over, for example, the results that have been coming in and how I've been handling them is a good practical exercise type case study for something like that. Go ahead, Lori.
I wasn't able to access anything that you said would have a choice of different days or times or anything like that. The link did not open for me last
It didn't?
week.
Okay. I will check again.
But
You're actually part of that conversation. Go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted.
yeah, so if I am part of the conversation, I don't know where we go to see where we enter or how it. Did you send out an email? Because I didn't get it.
Yes, actually, this is what has been happening here. That way, I'll be able to explain what you are to expect and what basically we will be testing out right away, actually, because as a get-go, everybody that was interested in the class actually registered as part of my list, whereas I was doing some cleanups. Let me go back to that list. Oh, I mean the email, sorry. Go to the list here. And that way you will be able to see exactly how I've been handling all this. And I'll address also your question at the same time, Lori. So everybody that was interested registered and came through this list, which actually became a conversion list for me. Great. Now, everybody that came in technically was asked to fill out a form so that they could vote. And I received those notes on those days. Here, this is my form here. I was testing it. But for example, Lori, if you don't mind, I'll bring up your profile because you're part of a specific batch. Everybody that was really interested in this the first day when I offered the masterclass event, actually, you can see registered on the 15th. And I think there was an issue with the form. So for some of you, I didn't get the information in the notes. All right. So what I had to do is basically go over each conversation as they were so I can basically separate you into different lists that becomes part of basically the follow-up and retention process. Now you'll notice that you, Lori, and above, and a few others are in a follow-up case list. I didn't receive your information. I've been sending out some emails. Can you verify, actually, Lori, in your email account, in the receipt or the junk mail, an email that would have been received from me? Now, since I'm using a Gmail account that I created, I did imi.contentcreators@gmail.com. I'm going to paste that email in the chat and also how to search it so that you can make sure that you're receiving these conversations. I will be sending out more, at least 2 more emails between now and the date of the 25th. And the last one will be the location. Yes, Martha, you have a question?
Hi, Virgil. On the, and I don't know if you can pull this up or not, but on the email where we fill out to register, there was a choice between beginner and elite.
Yes.
So I'm not really a beginner, but I'm
Okay.
not an elite. So how would you want us to mark that?
Well, I thought about putting an in between, but I figured that if you felt that you were advanced enough, you would put yourself in the elite or put yourself in the beginner class. As it is for me, we're all beginners, we're all elite. Okay, so in this case, I only wanted to give two choices. Why three would be too much for me, and allows me also to set a pace. Whatever information I'm giving to the beginner would fall in line with optimizing anybody that is in between that conversation. Same goes for the elite. I have some beginners. Actually, it's a good thing to discuss because there has been a lot of result coming out of this document. For example, I'll show you. And this is actually, I think, really a good case study for how I would recommend going about the list using NowSite. So you can see here, for example, you are here. Let me just black this out so that I don't share your personal information. So as it is, you can see it more. Okay. So you can see that out of the conversation, I received some that are marked as follow-up required that I had to sort out on an Excel document. This is using an Excel document. And I have here the beginners and the elite all in one level. And you can see that I have some conversation that are balancing more towards the digital card than the segmentation class. And we have beginners and elite. I gather that most of the people that had signed as a beginner and that are in a segmentation class, because the segmentation class is what I considered an advanced subject, right? Once you really start thinking about segmentation and email, it means that you have outlined a certain process, right? From the acquisition to the conversion to the retention process, you have outlined a journey, which is a little bit what we have done here. We have a conversation around the masterclass. The journey will have you follow into a group of your choice. I separated the group in class first to weigh the interest in which we were going, right? And also to be able to separate the conversation the day of. I will assign you into specific rooms so the conversation that I have with you is pertaining to the topic of the day. Okay, so to answer your question, Marta, I would put you, if you feel confident enough and you're leaning towards the elite part, then go for the elite as it is. And all the pace will allow you to come into that. And you're feeling more that you are strong, but still leaning to the beginner, wanting to reaffirm your ABCs, which is always a current conversation, then you can lean more at the beginning. But everybody will be able to follow the pace as I will be interacting with specific questions. Remember, in the master class, you will be the one doing the work. I will be the one shadowing you and basically timing in on any difficulties that could help or that you're facing. Good?
Thank you.
Question?
I'm
Perfect.
still really not familiar or understanding the segmentation part of it, I guess.
Yeah. Segmentation, again, to keep it simple, it is how you decide to divide your market so that you can focus your conversation on the interests that you're talking to, right? It's really that way you want to see this. Once again, I'm going to share my screen here. In a sense that and I'm moving things at the same time and trying to share, it's never a good thing. So in a sense that the basic form of segmentation that you should be understanding is just that difference. The difference between the conversation that you're having when you're trying to bring somebody in, right? The conversation that you're having when the person has actually come in and noted an interest, they have been converted. And strong of that, depending on the focus point of the conversion, in this case, for example, I took you from a general list, which is the how-to newsletter, because most of you in this space who have opted for the course had to be separated from the rest who are looking at the NowSite newsletter, but not necessarily interested in taking part into this exercise, right? So I had to separate you. So I have a general list in this case that I considered my acquisition list. Then converting you to an interest was the object of that second list. Once you're in that list, from there, I go and take a look at all these questions, these answers that I put before you, and sort you out where you need to go for the next part, right? If you, in a case, for example, where you're having a general conversation and your audience has not yet firmly converted, then I would put you into a general list, a follow-up list to keep on keeping you notified and interested. If you converted, then I would bring you down a specific path, the one where you start going into deeper option, opt-in, sign in, and regular exchange with me. Does that make sense? Just starting with this process, I need a general list for everybody that I bring in that has not yet made the choice. Then I need a specific list that is the people who've made the choice. And after, the retention. Because, for example, that said, coming back to what I was describing, each one of you, depending on your choice, have been assigned to a specific list. So, for example, here, I'm in this course library as myself, right? So, considering me, I have opted into this idea of the course. But in my case, for example, if I go to notes, I did not feel the conversation, selected group. Actually, I did end up a MasterCard. So here, that's good. I opted for this and I have all my tools. So I'm in this converted list as somebody who's coming in to the masterclass. But now, for everybody, I did the same thing. I went to my list here. And at that point, I need to do a little bit of upkeep in this case here. So I'm going to remove myself from the rest of the list that I was testing. And this goes even for elites, because when you're doing this, if you have a client that is part of different list that you have been solicited and that has not responded until then to something strong, then as I did, you need to remove them from the list where they don't belong. And in this case, my note suggests that I'm interested in the digital card. So simple thing, in the list, I'm also going to assign myself to this list now. Why? Because whenever I need to roll out specific information to this specific group, I now have this list. I have the course list in which, yes, you will be receiving general course information. And in this case, for example, I didn't add myself to the NowSite list, which is basically the one where that is tied into our how-to newsletter, where I first deposit all these case studies. Okay, so this is a simple approach in segmentation, from the general conversation to the conversion to the assignment to the necessary follow-up. And you will see, for example, it goes in line with what I'm doing in the email. If we're talking about segmentation and messaging, well, once we have separated our list, then to these different lists, people need to receive content. This, you can see, is not connected to a list, nor have I added anybody manually. And you can see that the content follows the conversation that we're having. The first one, and this, I think everybody should have received this by now, secure the spot, which was the first notification that I sent, right? Then after that, for those who signed into the digital class, you should have received this second one, because I have now assigned that email to this group, or I manually, I should say, send it to this group. Going back to the list here, I have my segmentation class, I have my digital class. So now that they are segmented, now that they are split apart in accord to the interest, I can now come in here, email this list, and send the whole of this list the appropriate conversation. So the digital class conversation. Same goes for the rest. The segmentation class has its own email, and all of you will receive this last one, where basically I'll be giving you the notification. Of course, I'm waiting for the last people for which I have not received information to come in. And for those, I did, well, this was this was the first one that you received. So for those who I didn't get information, secure your spot is the email that you're looking for. And prior to that, sorry, everybody at least should have received the registration one. which was these two ones. The first one where I was sending you to follow the steps. I think everybody received this one. And also I gave you the Facebook event. And the second one, and I know Martha, you received that one because you were one of the person that voted for the change of time, right? Save, or basically you can see the current information and vote for a new time. Okay, so the purpose, at least in your mind frame, for segmentation, meaning separating at least the stage at which I am with the conversation, should make sense. Deeper levels of segmentation would start basically and simply in the business conversation as early as that, right? For example, if I was making a workshop specifically for beginners, then that conversation would outline this. Go ahead, Robert.
Today, I didn't see you post the normal links that you do for everybody to take part in this. Ed is a little confused. I don't know if he was able to join. He's not familiar with what's going on and would like more information on how he can particularly potentially join.
Oh, absolutely. I'll send you all the links just to make sure, and I will outline the last one for the registration to join in. It's the first one. And if you need more information in terms of the voting, I'll put that in as well. But first, I'll give you the series of links. So this is all the links that you would want to keep in hand when it comes down to what we're doing here. So you have from first to last the how-to session, the general newsletter, and you have the NowSite, the virtual class, NowSite course library. This is where you would go to register specifically. I'm going to re-put that one last for this specific question. So the how-to is our general newsletter information. I'm keeping that separate from this specific link, which is where you register for the masterclass. It's basically in just show you. So you would basically land on this page and you would go to the tab here, Masterclass, and you could actually register for the event. For everybody that has registered as well, it's a good thing that we covered this navigation. The course, the class outlines are offered both for the segmentation and both for the digital card. And I think it's a good exercise for you to take a look at it, download, take a look at it so that you got an idea of what I will be covering during these 3 hours or how we will be proceeding. Okay. In each case, at the end of the document, I left you a few recommended exercises. These links will lead you back to our team, back to the documents that are there, right? One thing that I expect everybody, I do mean everybody, to have covered coming into these exercises is the asset preparation exercise. Do not come to the class saying, I don't have this link, right? At least if we are to cover the digital card, and this digital card is what I started building with you live 2 or 3 sessions ago. So I fine-tuned it and gave it a purpose for the master class. I'm going to be actually using that through the course of the week to actively invite people shadowing you in the field with these assets. So you'll get to see it. I'm submitting myself to the same conversation that I'm putting forward. So I finalized this. And this is at least for those who are in segmentation class, this is something that you already have established. I'm not even worried about any other asset beyond, but the digital card is prime. The reason why is that you can accomplish everything that you're doing with a marketing asset there. If you have a website to showcase off this digital card, prepare that link. Prepare your conversation channels and whatever prime offer you're putting forward, right? And this goes for everybody from the digital class to the message and segmentation, because the idea behind the message is that we're following a set conversation to convert. Even if we're doing this using the Connect 10, it's the same thing. I'm going in there to connect a leader in order to have a specific conversation with them down a prospect journey. Go ahead, Tina.
I'm a little bit confused. It's not you, it's me. So
It's okay.
it takes me a few times to get things just so we're clear. Because all the technology's been all so over my head, and I'm now constantly trying to learn it with you, and you're amazing. But did you say you were sending us and you sent all of us an email?
Yes.
And
Here,
so,
for example, go ahead. Sorry.
no, that's okay. I apologize. I never got one unless it went to trash. I can look. And it'll be from
Yes.
personal email, Virgil, right?
Search in your inbox. I had the good fortune of testing this with Robert before we came in. So in your inbox, search for IMI, I Make Image, which is my old company name. This is why I have these assets named IMI, IMI.content creators. It should bring basically the different emails that you would have received from me. Now, you, Tina, also were part of the group that you should receive a follow-up, secure your spot. We didn't receive your information because when I opened, I didn't see the note. The group on the 15, again, I apologize for that, Miss Step. Go ahead, Dinah. Oh,
Hey,
you
good
got it,
morning.
Tina. Sorry, before I jumped
Yeah,
with you.
Tina, mine was in my what you call it, my junk mail too.
Junk?
But I had to search in my junk mail to find it. I
Oh, you
didn't,
did?
yeah, when I was in my regular mail, I couldn't
Okay.
find it when I searched. I had to, for some reason, search in my junk mail.
All
But
right.
Perfect.
Thank you, Dinah. I appreciate that. That's what I'll try it now.
okay, no
If
problem.
it's not annoying to anybody, I will resend the first registration email. And for those who have already confirmed their spot, whether it's segmentation or digital class, we're good. I have you. Oh, the numbers are mounting. Okay, perfect.
Okay, Virgil.
Questions? Mhm.
Yeah. So these are going to be two separate classes that you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay, can we take both classes?
Oh, unless you can clone yourself to it, because they're going to be happening in tandem in different rooms. So,
Oh, okay. They're gonna
yeah,
be at
so
the
it's
same time.
yeah,
Okay,
so it's
okay,
going to be a little complicated. The
okay.
format of the exercise is that I open up the conversation, and then you have set tasks to do for a certain time. During that time, I'll bounce to the other room and cover the same process, right? So at the beginning, we might start with a little bit
Gotcha.
of delay for one group, depending on where the bulk of the interest is. For now, I'm seeing some split interest slowly. At first, it was all segmentation, or well, it's all digital card more than segmentation, but the numbers are changing, especially with the new submission that are going to come in. So I expect that to balance a little bit. So take a look at that. I will be recording. Now it's going to be taking place in two rooms, so I'm not sure the dynamics of that on Zoom, but I'll try to get you basically the recording of these sessions so you can still go over the process after, follow and repeat your steps.
And where did you
Works?
say we find these syllabus at?
Directly on the Now site, the Virgil, course library where you went to register,
Okay,
right? You see you have a menu, you have the masterclass focus here, and you have basically the buttons here, segmentation and digital card. You can download both of them, but focus on the first one of your choice. If you're apt and you want to bounce between these teachings, why not? In all case scenario, let me put this forward. Even for the people that are doing the digital class, we're going to touch based on what is happening with email. So that will involve at least tiering your conversation for the first part, the acquisition, and preparing yourself for what happens next for the conversion and the retention. Okay, so
okay.
you will be touching base on all the mechanics, but if you choose one, is because you're looking at really exercising during that workshop on that specific subject. Make sense for everybody?
Yeah, thanks.
Perfect. Pleasure, pleasure. Don't forget that in between today and Friday, I will be closely monitoring my Virgil at uh, actually no, 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 no. Since I'm running the campaign there. I'll monitor my Virgil at now.site for your correspondence, the one in the group. So if you have question, you can message me there. I think it will be a direct channel. Or again, join the Facebook group, join the event, and message me your questions through there. So that way, even after work, if I have a time or two, I can respond since we're working or living in different time zones. Go ahead, Vicky.
Okay, I was trying to find mine and I did find it in spam, so I missed some of what you said. But we were supposed to respond back to you. And you said
Well,
something about an asset link.
well, no. Which one did you find? The last one or the first one?
I only have one, and that
One?
is, and it says, how did it start out? Said, congratulations, you're all set up. Our digital masterclass at how to masterclass. That's the only
Good.
one I received. There's nothing else
Good.
came.
It's okay. It's the one that counts. It's basically the last one because you came through the now site course. You registered. You opted for the digital card, right? And I sent you this last one telling you congrats. You're in it. And if you want more, well, to prep up, go to the links within the email. The button will lead you to what we were discussing, the Mastercard, the masterclass space, and there you can download this document. Okay, here.
Now, where is that? Okay,
The
laptop overview? No, that's
yeah,
not it.
yeah. See exercise overview right here. When you click on this button, in the email, let me just show you what technically will, so that everybody can get a glance at what you're referring to. So you received this here. Congratulations, right? The link here, the download the workshop overview is actually a clickable link. So you
Yes, I
can
did
click on
that.
it. Perfect. And that would bring you to the this landing page, which is the masterclass landing page. And at that point, you would scroll down to the exercise overview of your choice. You're doing this on your phone?
Yeah. I'll do it
Okay,
on my computer after the class.
perfect. That would allow for a better view. Uh, One thing actually, coming to this session, this workshop, I highly recommend that you be on a computer so that you can have a larger screen, work and follow at the same time. I would recommend that for this one at least, and later on maybe we will have focus workshop. Everybody using their mobile. Make sense? Perfect. Uh, Go ahead, Dinah.
Yeah, me again. Sorry.
Why? Please fill in the time.
So on the
Mhm.
digital card and website creation, are you going to be teaching anything that you haven't taught us already?
No, because this session is practical. So it means that
We're
you're
gonna
going
be
to be
doing it.
exercising it. You're doing it to
Mhm.
see how well you have taken in everything that I've put forward.
Okay, because have we went over segmentation and methods and strategies here?
Yep.
We have? Okay.
Yeah, we went over it. And this is actually part of the prerequisite or recommended exercise that I'm referring you to. Go buff yourself by going over these information, these teaching, these case studies. So that way, whether you're with me or on your own, you should already be able to take part in this exercise and time it
Okay.
yourself,
All
right?
right.
On Friday, you get the added advantage of me being there and we can address specific practical questions as you yourself run the exercise. Good recommendation would be come in with something that you're actively working on or preparing to work on. So that way, in 2 hours, technically, we should leave you with something solid to start hammering for the week to come.
Gotcha.
Right?
Thing.
This is a 2 hour power session in lab. After that, I don't expect you guys to stay in the lab. At least maybe another day to beef up or buff what you have done, make it shine. But as of Monday, these assets should be rolling, right? And this is one thing that I want to ask at one point is that when you go through these classes, that you book meetings so that we can overview what happened, especially if you're applying things that you're actively promoting. Go ahead, Lori. Question?
Totally understand a lot more now that you said what you just said. I did not get the email. If you
No,
would, I know I'm just one person, but can you resend it?
absolutely. What I'm going to
And now
do, what?
one other question is because the link that you put up doesn't say what time of day it is or what time
Uh,
zone.
Yes, it's well, the I'm going what you're going to be receiving, I'm going to be rolling out everything again right away so that we all at least get that information for the first part. I'm going to do this live. So here, for example, I'm going to be sending you again the two first one. Okay, this is the first one letting you know basically what is to come, and also the follow-up email so that you get a chance to vote on the next time an event. I'm still going to keep track on those. So you should be receiving those right away. I am also going to send you appropriate emails. So for those who are concerned, let me do this right away here. So that way you will see also the mechanics from the list. So first thing first, I'm going to come back into my NowSite course library where you all are, and we're going to resend the initial registration list. Okay, so second, where am I? Here. So I just fired up the first two emails. It's going to take a little bit of time for you to get it all again. So take a look at it. Then, respectively, okay, so this was the whole list that I notified once again. Now, respectively, what I'm going to go is into the where's my follow-up list here? Follow-up list. Okay. This is where also, Lori, you are, I think, no, you had signed in. So these are the people for which I didn't receive clear information. So here I'm going to resend one of the email, right? So you can see me actually practicing everything here. So here it's the retention email, and it's the first one, letting you know that although you submitted, I didn't receive your information, or I haven't received your information point blank. So everybody in the follow-up list, you will be getting that one. By default, if you haven't received one of the two next emails, Vicky, for example, you're not concerned because you confirmed that you received a thank you, you're signed up for the digital class, right? But just in case, for those who have not received it, I'm resending it again, right? So I came to that list specifically, and I'm going to send you all the digital card email notification, okay? And lastly, I'm going to go back for all those who had signed for the segmentation email. I'm going to do it as well. And this time I'm sending them specific segmentation class. Okay, so this, for example, is a practical application of messaging and segmentation. The message has to be appropriate for every tier of my conversation, and I have to know where you're coming from. Ideally, you all came from the same acquisition list, and you're in the conversion list for the same purpose. Now, depending on the situation, I need to handle that. Now, this is important because here we're not discussing the option of charging or charging. But if I was charging for this last part here that we're discussing, where I'm looking at who opted in and who deserves his due, would be important, because not only would I would outline the next step, but I would also instruct you on the final process to get the access, to secure your access with the payment gate and whatnot. Okay. One thing as well for the segmentation and the messaging in your email campaign flow, I expect to have one of these conversion links. Either it's your opportunity that you're trying to market by default, you need to convert there because that results into compensation with your plan, or a deeper product that you're selling. Make sense for everybody? Oh, you responded, but you were muted, Vicky, so I didn't get you. No? Okay. So everybody at this point, keep your eye on the email, because in sequence, you would have received at least 3, if not 4 emails. Go ahead, Marta.
Hey, yeah, Virgil, on the L card, can you give like a little highlight on what you're going to be doing with that?
The digital card, you mean?
Yes.
Well, for anybody who doesn't have an asset like that prepared, this is going to be the first focus, right? Making sure that we get this together. Secondly, for those who have this digital card but have not optimized their Facebook or social media presence, this calls for that. So not only you will come in here with your asset prepared, so all the social media link that you're offering, also the contact information has to be ready, right? So that way this could actually be used. The second part, and it's also going to include conversation approach, because we need to make sure that you properly understand what you're doing when you're setting up a conversation on your digital card. What is basically the interest? What is the intention? Also, what is the call to action? Right? In this case, this is a simple setup, has to be basic. If you have that perfect, then we're going to look into the last tier of this conversation. What happens when you're doing this, when people are using this form? Because this implies that there's an email sequencing and also this whole idea of process or segmentation, depending on the interest that comes into play. So you guys will be applying that in real time or optimizing your asset to leave with this structure in place, ready for the next step. Make sense?
If I have an L card through a different platform, you're still encouraging me to go ahead and set up one through NowSite in order to do this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The only thing that I'm going to take in account as you having and using in this NowSite space is your conversion link, meaning if you have an opportunity outside of NowSite that you're marketing, that is going to be your conversion links, and that is going to require a good idea of what is happening there in terms of emailing, because that will be part of your segmentation. Your conversion is happening outside the platform, and we're going to have a step to bring that conversation or those people back into NowSite. In this case, NowSite is helping you for the marketing to get people in and the follow-up relationship once they've come into the process and you're now maintaining this relationship. Okay, makes sense? So for example, your digital card, if you're using something of an outside link, would most likely be an asset that we would place here because you want people to go visit your offers, and this form would lead to a deeper commitment. This is nothing, remember, if anybody has heard of or have been using a capture, a funnel page, a funnel process, then this is nothing different because the form here has the ability and will have to at least lead you to a thank you page. That process is what we've been hammering the past exchange that we had, and it's a lot because even if I don't have something properly set up to follow, at least telling you thank you and giving you all these instructions that need to make sure that you find my email. For example, strong of this exchange that we're having, in my thank you page, I'm going to make sure to tell them, look for this email in your spam using this so that you can find it quicker. Adjusting my thank yous, right? Until it's ironclad. So this process, for example, is what I'm going to focus on for the digital card. Of course, as you understand, anybody that is in the segmentation class is beyond this. We're now going deeper. What happens when they have put their information in that form? What information are we sending them? And how are we going to follow up to secure the deeper relationship? Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Although we're talking emails in the segmentation, the part of messaging implies that we will also be trying to use the tool for the nav tools for the sales messaging and conversation, right? Because for example, if you just give me your email alone, with the email, I can do a Google search and most likely that will lead me to any active social media platform that you have created with that said email. And if you have, then nav come into place. I can bring you back into the system and move from an email conversation to direct messaging and having a tandem in those conversations. Okay, so these are deeper values that we're looking when we're looking at the segmentation and the messaging class, because we want to know who are we talking to, what type of messages are we sending them, and what channels are we using to reinforce the conversation. Make sense? Okay, it's a lot of things that I'm saying, but once you get behind the wheel and start adding those one and twos, you will see that it's really just a simple mechanic saying, hey, I got you talking very generally about this. Now I'm going to bring you into a space where we can specifically dig down on the interest because I need you to make a choice. And then when you made this choice, depending on the one that you made, A or B, we will continue down that path of conversation, learning, and call to actions, right? So all this is basically what we're now transcribing into mechanics from the asset that we're presenting, but really the conversation that we're having them buy in. Make sense?
Yes, it does. So I don't have my nav set up yet. I'm a little behind on that. So I guess I need to be focusing on doing that within the next
Yeah.
couple of days.
Nav is a very simple setup process. And actually, this is one of the prerequisites for everybody that has NowSite. I want you to make sure that coming in, whether it's for the digital card or the email, that you have a strong business conversation set up here. Because whether you have Nav activated or not, you are still taking advantage of this conversation process or this marketing strategy that it's offering. Okay, so even if I don't have a sales plan that is recommended by NAV, I still have this basic outline. So if you don't have NAV itself, you only have the My AI, you're still good for the tool. NAV is a plus. It will help making sure that we can quickly import people in. So if you have that icon, the only thing, set up a business profile. If you don't have, set up a business profile, because this is what we will use for the content. Even if you are in the digital card and a website optimization class, remember, people don't buy the website. They buy into the conversation. The what? The who we're talking to and the how. Okay, so this is very important for everybody coming in. I'm always in this space when we're having these meetings for good reason. Everything needs to be aligned. I need to have a clear idea of what I'm offering, have a clear idea of who I'm speaking to, because I have to adjust the rollout to that interest. Go ahead, Robert.
So I appreciate everything that you're doing here, brother. I love it. It's really cool. We can learn a lot of great things from this. My question, I don't know if anybody's ever asked this or if you've addressed it, but why did you create two different classes and have them at the same time?
Well, I was testing. I wanted to know, first of all, I wanted to give you a choice and see where the overall interest in these conversations fall in, right? And I figured that I was going to have, I was going to set different pace for each groups depending on where the audience went, right? But in this case, I'm having the interest, the two case studies, the two classes yielding the same interest at this point, right? Because I see 7 and 5, and there's still about 12 people to come. So it's going to be a challenge as well for me. I wanted to challenge myself. Why not? So I'll see. I hope this satisfies that question.
Maybe you can do it again, have the same two, and then those that took the first one could take the second, and vice versa.
Yeah, I'm with that too. We need two
Yeah,
separate classes.
yeah. Don't worry. That's the plan. Again, I'm doing this one. It's a test, but if you looked at the content, it's supposed to be set every Fridays for that. And regardless of if you came in the first or the second time, remember, it's a practical exercise. You bring in the interest, a new interest every time, and you apply. right? So you can take one class this weekend, you'll be able to take class the other when we're launching the rotation. But yeah, it's meant
Well,
to be added on the calendar, and these classes will remain as fundamentals, and then we'll dig deeper. I'll always try to find something. Oh, you guys will bring something deeper for me to create an exercise for. There's always going to be something like that. One thing that we haven't discussed yet that should be is this whole idea of income stream or direct sales. I think that's going to be the last exercise once we know how to present ourselves digitally. And once we know how to lead a conversation via email, then we need to direct sell. And that equates into what? Including income streams conversion, for example, PayPal. Some of you have books or products that they want to sell. Well, looking at turning our NowSite website into e-commerce platform, right? Because that's the last gate. I know how to present. I know how to talk. Now I need to sell more. Go ahead, Dina. Dinah, sorry.
yes.
No.
So you don't think you'll be able to help us better if we did a class at a time instead of back and forward? We gonna run you crazy, okay?
Well, remember, yes, I think it would have been easier. I'll keep that in mind for the next time. But remember, the way I see it is that in every movement of these exercises, I'm talking at least for a few minutes, just that. And then after that, the rest is up to you, right? Because if I'm talking like I am right now, and that was the whole point that brought about this conversation. It was you talk good, Verge, but we can't do it at the same time. We're not getting more value. We're getting value, but we need more. So this time we're reversing the dynamics. I'm going to be present, but I'm going to be asking questions, right? And in Zoom, I'm always just a message away. So it's not like I will be like, oh, he left us here. What's happening? No, I'll be bouncing between rooms, but I'll be monitoring basically the messages. And the workload is on you. Don't come here expecting me to do things for you. If anything, I'll be with the stick and say, hey, every 5 minutes, you randomly show me what you're doing. And by the way, at the end of these sessions, I'm going to volunteer somebody. So either you volunteer or I volunteer you, but we will use you as a review.
We call
So
that voluntold.
there you go. So yeah, so the onus, if you're coming here on Friday, the onus is on you to bring and take what you want to leave with. If you come and idly look at, well, that's what you will get. It's not a bad thing. It can warm you up for the next session, right? But eventually, and again, I expect everybody to take advantage of the follow-up option that we have. You'll book a meeting and we'll go over what you've done and tweak it, right? 15-minute power-up sessions and get you going to the next one. Go ahead, Vicky. Sorry.
Okay, so Robert's going to be there too, right?
Yes, yes. He's coming in later on, but he's coming and he's going to be helping as well. Absolutely. Right?
Okay, so
Remember, go ahead.
do you have in that email the list? You need this 1, 2, 3, 4, because while you're over there in the other section and we have a question, did I do this right or what I'm doing? Who's going to be there to answer my question? Or
You message, I come in if I'm not in the group at that time. For the first part, yes. Everything that we're going to be covering or having you do is basically, I have outlined here so you can take a look at it. And definitely by going over these exercises, you should already be good. Technically, the questions that I'm expecting from you is, Virgil, I was trying to move this or do this. I want to make sure that it's properly set,
oh,
right?
that's
And
not
then
going to be
after
hard.
that,
Oh, it's going to be a lot more questions than just moving something.
Yeah.
okay. Well,
LOL.
I'll be ready for them. I'll be ready for them. Whatever comes about, I'm pretty sure that we will be able to handle. Remember, we're not getting graded, but yes, we can put the objective of coming out there ready for success. So try to bring all the questions that you have, but remember, you have the hand in the pot. I'll be saying, okay, show me. I'll be saying, okay, show me the problem, because don't just stay there and say, well, I'm doing this, I'm not seeing it, but I'm not understanding. I'll say, okay, show your screen, let me see. Okay. If you want it to be private, I'll most likely assign us to a room, but it would be good that we build up on this community. And if we're in the same room talking about digital card, let's share on good and difficulty, good things and difficulties as they arise. Go ahead, Rita.
Hi, I just wanted to chime in on what I see, and I
Mhm.
think you're going to have, like you just said, the community part. So you'll have people who are there. It's not like you're going to be silent. So if I need help with something, I'll just say, hey, look, I'm having a problem with this. Anybody know how to fix it? And so that community approach, because everybody may not know everything, but some people may know enough to get you where you need to. And then if you can't, then you go back to Virgil or the Blakester. So that seems like a good, because Blakester did it with us a few times actually, where he gave us an assignment and then we had to, we just sat in a room
Mhm.
and we got answers. So it works. Just trust the process.
That, hey, understand the process, applied for progress. This is going to be our motto, right? If I don't trust it, at least I need to understand it. Once I understand it, I can apply it. If I apply it, I'll see the flaws in that, right? I'm always under the gun. For example, when I say something, I need to be able to come back and test it. That's the process that I'm preaching or that I'm advocating. This is how I would apply it, right? So this is going to be, and this is also important. Coming to these workshops, and after these workshops, I no longer want to hear in our community, I'm not tech savvy. This thing is above me, because you only need to know how to read, write, and move your mouse to accomplish things here. And all of you probably write better than me, point blank. So after today, after Friday at least, I don't want that in this space. Why? Because it's a weight that we put on ourselves. I'm not going to be able to run fast. You're never going to be able to run as fast as you could if you said, I'm going to put in my all and run as fast as I can. Right? Fast as I can is good for me. That's it. Okay. It's
So,
very important to train yourself for success.
so Virgil, when you were saying that most of us can write better than you, did you mean in what language? French or English? Just checking.
Both, both, both. Hey, like back in the days before AI and autocorrect, you know that kids were called to do like dictation, where uh, they had to write down what the teacher would say. My greatest mark was always zero from the first line. Too many mistakes. I actually got a cake and a celebration the day I did 5 out of 20. My mother said, well, it's a progress. It's not zero. And by the way, that one I had been giving the lesson to read, and I've been giving the text to copy while it was happening, but still managed to mess it up, right? But these days are over. Why? The AI is writing. The AI is writing. So all the song and dance is going to do it for us. But we need to have our basics locked in. What am I offering? Who am I talking to? And how I'm rolling this out. Believe me, these questions in this space are keeping me up at night. I know what I'm offering, but how am I rolling it out? Hence, let me try 2 MasterCards at the same time. This is okay. I like what I'm seeing. It's good to learn and have fun. It makes the process a lot easier than to learn and have fear,
Hey,
right? Adding weight.
I just had to add, and now another piece of the Virgil puzzle falls into place.
You guys are getting to know me. But hey, that's the nature of community, right? If you guys are gonna go under the gun, be voluntold, then this is what it is. We're becoming a community, and we can grow with that. I hope that as we progress, when you guys have opportunities, when you're bringing people in this space, well, have them come to this, so that way it helps you with your load. Come to the community is great. Even if I'm not here, well, there's always people to support people to help knowledge to be gained. And I think that's the greatest driver in this business community. Okay. So let's go. Masterclass it is. I will be sending the location invite, most likely by tomorrow, just to give myself the chance to take the last intakes of the day. Again, in your email, make sure to search imi.contentcreators@gmail.com for the email, and you will all expect to receive this last one, which is the rollout. And basically, it will have all the information. Again, the links will be hyper clickable and such, and you will have also the button here. Okay. I was thinking about having this also on the page, but doesn't make it a private event, at least for this uh, uh, session. We're going to keep it private. To be honest, I wasn't expecting the numbers to reach the double digits. I thought we are going to be 5 at most and such, but it's growing to 28, 30 people that are interested. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need one master class at a time and stretch that over time, maybe. Final format. Good. Actually, recommendation. Send me a recommendation, right? If you guys are going to have me work for you, tell me what to do. What were we interested in? Okay. I think I still have the, let me just see if I still have it. I know I had it for some time. Yeah, I still have this here on the coming soon section of our how-to newsletter, which is part of the links. In the coming soon, you have a form here, right? So let me know if there are specific things that you want me to address. Come into this space. That way I can take a look at that form and uh, take that in account. I haven't looked at the result of that form maybe for the last minute, so I'll try to pull that up and give you an idea. Eventually, it's a question or something that we can address, how to deal with these forms in Google as well in a more specific um, uh, case study or workshop, because this is something that we did come to par with. Where is this form? Go ahead, Rita. Sorry. I don't think I'm looking at the right. Oh, go ahead, Rita. You have a question? Oh, Tina. Sorry. Tina. Sorry.
That's okay. Is all of this is in the team section too, so we don't even need the links, right? We just go to our
Yep.
now section. That's probably
Yep.
good there. I never got an email, but that's okay. I'm gonna I'll check when we get off for that. But I just know that if we can go to our team section, we can make all this happen.
Yes, yes, yes. But I want to make sure that you are checking for the emails because, like I said, I'll be sending you that link. I'll make it available. Good thing you brought up. I will make the meeting link available as well in the team section. Great. So that way, it's going to be there. And this is what is happening with these forms when you're giving me your answers. I can take a look at what is happening. This is great data as well for people who are interested in data. I think it's an important thing eventually that we'll have to look at. As we saw during the conversation, I went over the numbers in different lists to see what was happening to try to gauge where I would steer the interest next. So these little forms there do a lot of work for us. And also, they integrate into Excel, which allows us to have deeper access to the information and prepare ourselves for the next thing. Good for everybody?
Yeah, so at
Preparing
the
our
end of the course, if I say I'm technical savvy, you have done an amazing job.
I am happy with this answer. That is it. That is the only answer that I want, the only type of attitude that we need here.
I'm
Right?
always your special student.
There you go. And remember, we learn at our pace. That's it. Okay, so whatever technology is for you, don't put it in the fear basket. It's just another process to trust in and apply. Go
The
ahead,
thing
Lori, for
is,
the
we
last one.
learn
Mhm.
from you, and then we teach other people too.
Wow. Yeah. I from the first meeting we had until now, I it's something that I was expecting, right? I'm doing this, taking the hat of leader using NowSite tool and giving you basic mechanics. And I think and I hope that everybody's taking this and applying. You have my green card to take the content that I put forward, make it your own, and market it. As long as you can empower people with that conversation, I am happy. Give me some thanks and some blessings, and God will do the rest. Okay? Perfect. See you tomorrow. Perfect. And verify in tomorrow if everybody you have not received the emails that I was sent today, it will be time to let me know because it means that you won't be receiving the class notification, the location. So I want to make sure that we are all in locked in for that day. Good.
Thanks, Rachel.
Pleasure. Love you guys. See you tomorrow.